Time now to talk Red Sox, but first, let's get a sneak peek of tonight's matchup against the arch-rival Yankees with YBA reporter Jason Seigal.
Hello everyone, I'm Jason Seigal for YBA Sports, and today we focus on the Red Sox. You know, since the Sox started 0-6, they have struggled to reach the 500 mark. Tonight in New York, they have another chance to do that in the Bronx. John Lester goes for the Sox, and Freddie Garcia for the Yanks. Last night's game was all about Josh Beckett, who went 6 innings, striking out 9, and picking up his 3rd win of the year. Let's go to the highlights. We start in the top of the 5th with bases loaded and 1 out for Jacoby Ellsbury. He gets a 2-run double, and the Red Sox take the lead 2-0. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Josh Beckett striking out Alex Rodriguez to finish his night with 9 Ks and just 18 outs. Top of the 7th now, 2 on and 2 out for Adrian Gonzalez. He hits a 3-run shot for 5-0 Red Sox lead. That's Agon's 4th straight game with a home run. And the Sox win this one 6-0, and they are now 19-20 on the year. With the win tonight, the Red Sox would be 5-1 against their arch rival. Can the Red Sox continue to turn it around against the Pinstripes while the Yanks push the Sox downhill? We'll find out tonight at 8 p.m. I'm Jason Seigal for YBA Sports.
Thanks, Jason. So as he said, the Red Sox play tonight, Sunday Night Baseball at 8 o'clock, to see if they will sweep the Yankees this series and get back to 500 for the first time this season. Now let's toss it to Adam and the rest of the Back Talk set to see their take on the Red Sox.
Thanks, Max. I'm Adam Magaletta, joined with Josh, Dylan, and Mr. Trupiano, of course. And so the Red Sox have tried 4 times to get to 500. Tonight will be their 5th. They've been unsuccessful all 4 times in the past. What do you think they need to do tonight to get to the 500 mark for the first time this season?
They need John Lester to be John Lester. Keep the Yankees hitters off balance. Pitching is the dominant part of any baseball game. And if he continues to pitch well the way the Yankees are struggling offensively, they should get to 500 tonight.
Well, honestly, I couldn't agree more with him. But I do think there's more to it. One, Adrian Gonzalez has to keep hitting. He's been huge in this series. He's got 2 home runs, but 2 big ones. One of them, I think, was in the 2nd deck. And you know, I think the offense in total has actually done very well in this series. I mean, 6 runs last night. And also the Yankees, there seems to be some problems with them in the locker room. I mean, you heard about Posada and how he took himself out of the game, apparently. There's been rumors flying if maybe he wants to retire soon, or maybe he just, because of his struggles he's been having. It's interesting. How are the Yankees going to handle that? That's some dramatic stuff in the clubhouse you don't want to have during a Red Sox-Yankees series.
One thing the Yankees have, though, is Derek Jeter.
They do.
Derek Jeter will put the lid on a lot of things that happen in that clubhouse.
There's no question about it. But I'm just saying, I feel like, you know, it's not something obviously they want to have. And he is Jeter's best friend, or at least what many people say. And so
Posada used to be Girardi's best friend.
Oh, well, now. But yeah, honestly, I feel like Lester has to be great tonight. The Yankees are going to want to win this game, but the Red Sox, you know, I think they'll win tonight. I think Lester, I believe they're Freddie Garcia, you know, who do you favor in that matchup? I think you obviously would favor Lester.
Well, yeah, as you said before with Jorge Posada, you know, there's always, if there's anything emotional going on, you're not going to play well in a game. You have to be focused on the game. And if Jeter, you said being Posada's best friend, if you're focused on how's Posada doing, you're not going to hit well. And I also do agree with you, Mr. Trupiano, that Lester has to be great as he has been in past this year. He has to, you know, step up once more. As you said, Nick, Josh, Agon has to continue his hitting streak, but he's been hot lately, hitting bombers from left and right. Yeah. And one of the other keys, though, is getting someone else to hit besides Gonzalez. You know, Crawford, I don't know if he still has.
He's been hitting better.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know if he still has. No, I'm sorry. I'm blanking at it. Does he still have his hitting streak? No. But he did have that little hitting streak back there, which, you know, is a good sign of stepping up, because at the beginning of the season, he wasn't doing very well, and it's a shame because Red Sox are paying him big-time money, so he's got to step up. And that, you know who's been doing well? Ellsbury. Batting at the leadoff, I think he's been doing well. They have to have him step up too tonight.
Forgot Jed Lowry. Who else do you want to get? Listen. A couple of things. First of all, how about Crawford? You know, Posada's upset because he gets dropped to 9th in the order. He puts himself in front of the team. That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
And Jeter will tell him about that. Crawford gets dropped down to 8th in the order, doesn't say a word, tries to fit in, shows a good team approach. And we know what we need to do, men? We need to back off the word great. You know, you don't have to be great. You just have to be good. You have to be solid. Just go out and do your job.
Against the Yankees, you always want to be great, though.
You want to do your job. If you start thinking you have to be great, you're not going to do your job.
No, as you said,
That's true.
Crawford did, without a complaint, move into that 8th spot, and I think that's.
Give me $20 million a year. I won't complain about anything.
Yeah.
So that shows really being a team player. Just doing
Don't
whatever.
hit me again. This guy's tough.
Just doing whatever your coach tells you and fitting in, and he's been great in that 8th spot. So that shows
Take a lot of pressure off him.
That shows that he's willing to do anything for this team in order to win.
I'm also, I understand it's helped him in his composure and his confidence, but I do at some point like to see him go back to the top 3 part of the order because that's where he really should shine because that's where he and Ellsbury can combine and
What do you
become
want for
that
$20 million a year?
Well, of course he won't complain, but I think from Francona's standpoint, he's probably fine with him in the lineup at all 8th, 9th, 2nd, whatever.
They're better off with Ellsbury at top, Crawford hitting 2nd, Pedroia hitting 3rd. That's the way it will go.
I like Ellsbury at the top, but I feel like maybe it should go Ellsbury, Pedroia, Crawford, and Gonzalez. That would be my top 4 once they all get going and all start, hitting.
Then you got in the 3-4 spot. You got 2 left-handed batters back to back. I know you do.
The issue,
I know you do
is very heavy
possibly first
left-handed.
2.
Yeah.
So I think you want to take that element away from the other manager late in the game on your 3-4
What
spot.
about Nuke? He's been doing pretty well too.
Well,
and if you move him out of the cleanup spot, him behind Aegon, I love that because if Aegon doesn't hit a homer, he gets a double, and then you can drive him in for a run. I think that's a great.
I did Major League Baseball 19 years. 19 years. I didn't call guys Uke or Aegon. You guys are a different generation.
Well, I'll tell you something. One guy who I really like to see have a good game tonight, Pedroia, because he's really been struggling. He got 1 hit, I believe, in the first game of the series, but over the last couple of weeks, he's really had some problems, and it doesn't really concern me exactly, but I see people start to lose confidence in the guy, and I've always liked him as a player. I respect him as a player. I'd like him to do well tonight, get some confidence back into how he's been performing, because he got off to a great start in the year, so that's how I feel.
Why do we always talk about hitting? Why don't we talk about pitching? Why don't we talk about defense?
Well,
Why don't we talk about base running? There's so many ways to help a team.
Defense is going to be fine.
There's so many teams to help a team win.
The defense is going to be fine. You've got Crawford, you've got Pedroia, who his hitting struggles have been there, but he had a great double play.
You're an Ellsbury,
huh?
I think he's a great player. After his key first
year
with
word
the
again,
Sox,
great.
He had a great practical. I call it basically a double play because I thought it was practically a double play that he put up. I believe it was in the first game of the series. So they'll be fine defensively. Lester, I'm sure, is going to be fine, but the Yankees can hit, so you never know. But that's why I mentioned the hitting mostly, because if they perform up to what they can do, I feel they should win the game tonight.
I used to work for the Houston Astros, and we had a pitcher, Joaquin Andujar, says one word says it all. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess, you want to say anything about it?
Well, I do. I see the John Lester pitching well, and I think that if the Red Sox can capitalize on Freddie Garcia, not the greatest pitcher, he's still a good pitcher, but not as good as Lester, in my opinion. Yeah. So if the Red Sox can capitalize on a favorable pitching matchup, I think they can take this series.
Well, the Red Sox have kind of been a flip-flop team the entire season. They started out 0-6. They went on a little bit of a run, another losing streak, another run. Now they lost 2 games in a row. They were swept by the Blue Jays, and now they have a chance tonight to sweep the Yankees. So which team that we're seeing is the real Red Sox? Are they the ones that went 0-6 and then lost to the Blue Jays, or the team that went on the winning streak and now has a chance to sweep the Yankees?
Well, I'm going to say what's kind of ironic is that I read today is that actually this 19-20 is the same exact record they had last year at this point in time, 19-20. So, but to answer your question, I'm not that sure. I feel like I want to say they're more to the team that's been doing well against the Yankees in this series. But how can you really say we're still only a little bit more than a month into the season?
39 games.
39 games. I mean, it's kind of
19-20.
I feel like they're a playoff team. I do feel like they're a playoff team at least. But like I said, I mean, they did show some problems early in the year. I think they'll get over it, and I think they're going to be fine. I still see them making the playoffs. I mean,
are they a playoff team if John Lackey doesn't pitch well?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I mean, they haven't reached 500 yet, in part because of him. He's given them some pretty bad losses.
As my good friend, the former Cardinal third baseman Mike Shannon once said, good pitching always gets out good hitting, and vice versa.
That's true.
Well, as you said, tonight is the Red Sox 5th try in order to become 500. And if they don't win tonight, that's a big mental factor because when you do something, you keep trying and trying, it always gets a lot frustrating, and frustration leads to bad, sloppy play. So I think that's key tonight for them to sweep, and I think they will sweep.
All right.
All right, thanks for that talk, guys. That's all the time we have for this week's edition of K-Sports Sunday. We wish we could keep going and hear more about this great Red Sox talk, but that's unfortunately all the time we have. Big thanks to our special guest, Jerry Trupiano, for joining us. For everyone here at YBA and K-Sports Sunday, I'm Max Kleiman. Have a good night and a great week.